And the last point I wanted to make before we kind of settle out today, with a guy like Treshaun Ward, he's going to be, going on to greener pastures over at Kansas State. And you see Trey Benson, he almost had 1,000 yards this past season. You got a guy like Lawrence Toafili that's kind of established his role. You got Keziah Holmes, the Penn State transfer, walking on to Florida State last year. He was ineligible to play because he transferred into the season at that point. Rodney Hill, who I think is going to be a guy that you can develop pretty highly. Sam Singleton, a four-star prospect, out of Jacksonville, I think could be another guy that you look for also. And then C.J. Campbell. It's just another walk-on player that has developed and has kind of had that skill set, but he got hurt midway through the year. They thought he was going to be out for the rest of the year, but that running back room is still scary. And they all talk about, man, they all want to be successful. How do you think that running back room is going to continue to develop as we go throughout the season? Because you're probably going to need those guys, especially when the spotlight is on a guy like Jordan Travis.
Yeah, and you said it, man. Like Coach Norvell, like he utilized like a lot of backs in his system. You got even Lawrence Philly.
Yep.
Lawrence Philly, catch passes. He just a do it all back. So, man, our running back rooms like some celebrities, man. Trey Benson. A lot of people talk about Trey Benson. Everybody, man, all the running backs, they just gonna be good, man. Rodney Hill. You see, we done seen early, in the earlier games this past season. You seen what he can do. You know what I'm saying? So, I think being that Treshaun Ward is gone now, I think that'll allow. I think this year will help Trey Benson. This year coming up. Because you seen in some games that he was kind of, I don't want to sound like he was kind of slow in some areas of the game, like the Oklahoma game, I should say.
Yep.
Like you see it start to slow down, but then you had Treshaun Ward at that time, so Treshaun Ward can just pick it up, where it left off. So I think that'll help him because this past year was like his real first season of playing football for real. So after the injury or whatever, so I think this will just help him become like that top notch back this coming up season.
So I got a question for you now that you brought that up. So since Treshaun Ward is going to Kansas State, and you talked about how Trey Benson has been a little bit more slower in some of those games, and you saw that Ward kind of picked up the pace, whenever he was down. Do you see a guy on this roster that can develop into that kind of guy, or do you think it's going to be kind of a committee approach with everything?
I'm gonna be honest, man. I think Rodney Hill got it in him. I
Yeah.
think Rodney Hill got it in him. He's still young, so I'm kind of hesitant when I say that because I know he's still young. I know he's going to be a good player.
Yeah, of course.
So I just don't know if it'll be this year where he have like a Treshaun Ward type production. And everybody we keep forgetting about Keziah Holmes.
Yep.
I'm curious to see how he plays. I even heard something like crazy, like he's fast too, like almost as fast as Trey Benson. So I'm curious to see how Keziah Holmes come along, and then Lawrence Philly. You always got Lawrence Philly. He's definitely not scared to run the ball. He don't care who he plays. He's not scared to run the ball. So I'll say Rodney Hill. I think Rodney Hill could be that guy that you can like kind of depend on just in case if Trey Benson have a game where something bother him or something.
Yeah, I would definitely say Mike Norvell knows a little too much about developing running backs. You've seen all these running backs in the NFL like Tony Pollard, Darrell Henderson, the list goes on and on with that. And I think there is kind of some understanding to say that Mike Norvell is a great developer of running backs. And I saw a lot of people talking about the Trey Benson take and how they didn't like it. And he was injured all the time. And what is Mike Norvell doing? Next thing you know, everybody's kind of eating crow with that. It's just kind of like one of those things where I don't think I'm going to, doubt Mike Norvell no more. I think it's going to be a situation where I just got to let him ride if it's a running back. So
Exactly.
people are starting to understand that a little bit more. And I think with the running system they run, you're trying to take the pressure off of Jordan Travis. Now you're seeing that more. He's not putting his body at risk as much anymore. And I think you probably see that continue this upcoming season, even without the services of Treshaun Ward. So very important. I think David Johnson's doing a tremendous job over there with the running backs, and I can't be more excited to see how they continue to run the ball and have those creative ways to run the ball at that. So, but I really appreciate all the love and support and everything for all the stuff on my account, as well as getting the views and everything on YouTube, subscribing to the channel. It is completely free. I also appreciate Jay coming on to talk with me about all this stuff with FSU. Kind of shorter notice, but we had a huge day in terms of that, and I think it's a very exciting time for Florida State in the offseason. Everybody wants to talk about Florida State. National media does a really good job in doing that, but Jay does a really good job in content as well. He's done a lot of stuff in terms of videos, getting content out there to other people so they can enjoy it as well. And I think he does a tremendous job with his platform, but I'm going to make sure to leave all of the links of his stuff in the description so that way y'all can go check out anything that y'all have missed from his account. Like I said, we're all one collaborative team that we try to help each other continue to grow and continue to develop. As I always say, it's never a competition. It's always trying to get each other better in the best way we can and try to include people in Florida State the best way we know how. So, but Jay, I really appreciate it, man. And as always, go Noles.
Hey, I appreciate you, Central. Y'all make sure y'all go check out the our other podcast, Chattin the Spirit. Y'all make sure y'all go check that out. We love y'all, man. As always, go Noles, man.
Oh yeah, I will definitely put the link in there as well for the podcast and everything. But as always, like Jay said, go Noles.